Hey guys, Jake here coming at you with another math lesson. Today we're going to be talking about how to find the inverse of a function. So if you're given some function f, how you can algebraically find the inverse of that function. So if that's something that you've struggled with in the past or just want a little bit of help on how to do a problem like this, be sure to stick around to the end of the video because I think you're going to find this very helpful and feel a lot better about the topic at the end of this video. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into it and I'll show you exactly how to do this type of problem. We are going to find the inverse function of f. And we're going to start by saying our example is f of x equals 1/3 x. So basically for this finding the inverse function of f, really there's a pretty simple method that you can apply to find the inverse function of two functions. Or of a function, I'm sorry. So the first thing that I like to do, instead of writing it as f of x equals some function of x, write it as y equals that function of x. So y equals 1/3 x. And the reason why I like to do this is because once you have it in this form, all you really have to do is switch your x's and your y's. So essentially we're just saying, y equals f of x, and to find the inverse, because all finding an inverse of a function is switching your inputs and your outputs. So now to find our inverse function of this, we're just going to switch our x and y's. So basically wherever we see a y, which should just be this one spot here, we're going to change it to an x. And then wherever we see an x, there could be multiple. In this case, we only have one x. But wherever you see an x, you're going to change it to a y. So we're going to get x equals 1/3 y. Now, once you've done that, what you want to do is then solve for y. So all we're going to do once you've switched your x's and your y's is you're going to figure out how to manipulate that function so that you can get the y all by itself and then have some new function of x, which would represent the inverse of the original function. So in this case, there's really only one operation we need to do to get this y all by itself. We just have to multiply both sides of our equation by 3. Multiply both sides by 3. Whatever you do to one side of your equation, you have to do to both sides. So if you multiply this by 3, the 1/3 and the 3 are going to cancel, and you're just going to get y equals 3x. So basically what this shows is that y equals 3x, or in other words, f inverse of x is going to be this function here, 3x. Well, I hope you found this video helpful, but don't leave yet. You're definitely going to want to check out that video right over there about how to add two functions. Inverse functions are great, but there's a lot more that you have to be able to know how to do with functions in general. So go click that video. We'll touch on another thing that you're going to want to be familiar with so we can keep crushing it all term long in pre-calc or college algebra or whatever class you're taking.